Welcome to Southern California, Fontana to be exact. We're at Auto Club Speedway getting ready for Sprint Cup qualifying for race number 4 in the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup in 2010. You see the cars in line. First out will be David Rudiman. Of course, one of the guys who was quick in practice and we're keeping an eye on is Greg Biffle. He wants to pick up right where he left off just 1 week ago. Race number 3 of the NASCAR Sprint Cup chase for the championship is green. Cautious David Rudiman spins it around. Look out, can everybody get through?
The 18 just run right over us.
They're going to have to deal with Tony Stewart if they're going to try to win this race today.
He's back in the championship hunt. He's looking good, and he's leading this race.
The double O of David Rudiman, contact with the 18 of Kyle Busch. Is this payback?
I have a serious problem with what just happened, and I don't think anybody in the tower is going to do a thing about it.
Greg Biffle is closing on the overall race lead.
Greg Biffle goes around Paul Menard, so Biffle to the point now. He'll take over the lead. Here is Greg Biffle, the race leader. He is all by himself.
You wanted a close chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup? Well, the results today are going to give us just that. The winner of chase race number 3, Greg Biffle.
Nice job, man. Great job, guys.
So as a result, it was Greg Biffle picking up a nice chunk of points, 55 to be exact, and Kyle Busch lost the most, 35, but it could have been a lot worse. It could have been as many as 70. And this is the top 10 closest ever after 3 races in the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup. We shift gears now as we come inside our ESPN pit studio along with DJ and Andy. We're glad that you're with us. Want to talk about qualifying significantly. How important is it? 6 of the last 9 winners have come from the top 10. The other 3 have all been Matt Kenseth.
I'm not sure that it's as big here because you have a wide racetrack. You can make a lot of passes. The pit road is a wide pit road. Your pit boxes are big, so it's not like you have to have a good qualifying effort to get one of the better boxes. But I think it's more of a mental approach to the weekend, especially for the chasers, that they get the opportunity to show that they have a fast race car and kind of send a message. So I think it's more of a confidence booster to get the weekend started properly.
And another reason it's important for to qualify well is if you start this race in the back half of the field, or even worse, you spend a lot of time making your way to the front, maybe having to pull some strategies, do some things you wouldn't really want to do, and you're not able to work on your car to make it better every time because you're trying to make spots. So this race really starts today. They want to start up front for that reason, even though it is a big wide racetrack and you can pass.
Well, let's talk about who was quickest in practice. Take a look at the top 10 in speeds. And you'll notice Jamie McMurray and A.J. Allmendinger. Boy, Allmendinger has been looking so good the last few races. And there's Biffle, last week's winner. Right on down through with points leader Jimmy Johnson 9th and Elliott Sadler rounding out the top 10. Well, let's talk about the guys who are there to be beaten. Who is the person that's up front? Let's first check in with Dr. Jerry Bunch.
Thank you, Marty. As you look at that list, you'll see at the top of that list are cars that crew chiefs have worked very hard on freeing up to carry a lot of speed through the corners. Now, once you get the car quick in the middle of the corner, you got to handle the bumps and the seams in the asphalt. As you enter the corner and you dive the car down, you're going to cross 2 seams. Coming back out, you're going to cross 2 more. And crew chiefs here in the garage area say if you get your car stuck on a seam, it'll cost you a qualifying lap. And if you turn the car abruptly off a seam, it could possibly cost you a race car. Now, with that said, it would seem that the favorites in qualifying today are the Earnhardt Ganassi drivers, McMurray and Montoya, who, by the way, shared the front row back here in February. But also keep an eye on a couple of Ford drivers. A.J. Allmendinger, the dinger, on the outside front row at Dover a few weeks ago, and last week's winner, Greg Biffle, in a Ford. Now, as far as who's the favorite for the weekend, Jamie, I think it's a guy everyone knows around here as simply Jimmy.
That's right, Doc. After the race last weekend in Kansas, there was a changing of the guard. Jimmy Johnson took the points lead from Denny Hamlin. It's only by 8 points, so why is that a big deal to the competition? Well, we're here in California. It's Jimmy Johnson's backyard. And oh, by the way, he happens to be pretty good here. He's won 4 of the last 6 races here. However, even though he wasn't at the top of the speed charts in practice, all eyes will be on him. Right now, NASCAR eyes are on him as the wheelbase was off just a touch on the first go-around in technical inspection. He is making his second pass through here. Guys, as soon as he passes, he will be pushed out to the line for qualifying. Marty?
All right, thank you. Thank you, Jamie. As we get ready to head to break, it'll be David Ruderman, followed by A.J. Allmendinger. But let's talk about what's coming up. NASCAR Nationwide Series right here at Auto Club Speedway. Tomorrow, 4 Eastern on ESPN2. And then our Sprint Cup Series, the Pepsi Max 400 at California, will be Sunday at 3 on ESPN with countdown starting at 2 Eastern. And for drag racing fans, Toyo Tires, NHRA Nationals, qualifying tomorrow night, 10:30 Eastern on ESPN2. And then the finals are on ESPN, make a note of it, Sunday at 9 Eastern.
What's a professional painter have that you don't? A sprayer that gets the job done. This one does. The new True Coat Paint Sprayer by Graco. Handheld, professional grade. With 30 times the pressure of other handheld paint sprayers, you can spray without thinning. No wonder Graco is the #1 brand preferred by professional painters. Finish your job in minutes and use the rest of your weekend to spray some tee shots. True Coat, now at Lowe's, Sherwin-Williams, and other fine paint stores.
You've never seen fast. You've never held it in your hand, then unleashed it with the fingertip. Never watched pixels whip by at 1 gigahertz and had your neurons struggle to keep up. You've never seen fast because you've never seen this. The Droid Incredible by HTC. It's nothing short of its name.
Buy a Droid Incredible with Flash and get any phone free.
Tom, check this out. Good gravy, Bill. Our insurance company doesn't have anything like it.
Magnificent, isn't it? With Progressive, it's easy to cover all of your favorite rides.
Progressive has truck insurance?
#1 in truck and motorcycle.
Is that a golf cart?
Yep. We also cover RVs, boats, ATVs. Anything else I can help you with?
Can I take a ride?
You need a ticket.
I'm first.
That's by the water slide. Okay. No running. Oh, dear.
Save on all your rides. Now that's Progressive. Call or click today.
The Knowles and Canes renew their classic rivalry in a pivotal ACC showdown. Saturday Night Football, presented by Southwest Airlines. Florida State Miami or USC Stanford. Saturday at 8 on ABC. College football lives here.
Fans, to find the largest selection of my gear, log on to NASCAR.com Superstore.
Of course, Nashville is Music City, USA, but out here in Southern California, Hollywood is where everybody goes to see the stars, spend a little money on Rodeo Drive, and take a walk on the Hollywood Walk of Fame to pick out their favorite star. And if you drive just a little bit east to the town of Fontana, you'll find Auto Club Speedway, 2 miles of fast racetrack, very wide and very difficult to drive. In fact, DJ, take us on a lap around here.
Yeah, we talked about how wide it is. It seemed like it'd be relatively simple, but we'll catch up with Jimmy Johnson. He enters turn 1, very difficult part of the racetrack, but it really flattens out coming out of turn 2. You have to have your car under control right there. It's easy to get into the wall, or as you try not to, snatch it off. Down the back straightaway, entrance into turn 3, very fast. Not as many bumps here, but you really need to be carrying a lot of speed. Get back to the throttle here, trying to carry the speed. Off of turn 4, you have to be careful of the wall out here, but it's a very difficult lap as you try to get all that speed.
And they'll do it in less than 40 seconds. And for the keys to set up, let's go to the Craftsman Tech Garage and Tim Brewer.
Thanks, Marty. One of the most important aspects of getting around this racetrack is taping up the nose of the car, because when you tape it up 100%, you put more downforce on it. That makes a critical area right down here at the splitter. But if you had that luxury of being 100% taped up, you got a lot of information. But if you had just a little bit opening left, you want to go just a little bit faster, what you might have to do is come in here and put one of these thin shims in the front shock, because as you drive the car down in the corner, guy's going to go down there wide open, a little bit further down that corner, you might bottom this splitter out. If you do that, you're going to scrub speed. It's going to cost you a little bit of time. Not going to have a good qualifying lap. Doc?
And Tim, as you're the setup between qualifying and race here is quite a bit different at this racetrack, and I think that's been a big issue this morning with the 3-time race winner Jeff Gordon. Now, Jeff Gordon was 21st fastest in the only practice session they had. With a half an hour to go, he got on the radio and said, guys, we need to abandon this setup or we're going to be in serious trouble. They came in, made an adjustment on the car, went back out, and the car was 21st fastest again. So the car was very comfortable to drive, had a lot of good balance, but was just, as Jeff put it, slow, which means it may not qualify well, but may mean very good things for them on race day. Jamie.
Well, Doc, Denny Hamlin was the man here 1 year ago taking home the pole, but a crash late in the race ended his day 37th. Now, they brought a different race car here. This was actually the race winner from Richmond, and I just talked to his crew chief, Mike Ford, and he said they did do a couple runs in practice. The top on the chart for them was 18th. He told me they would be lucky to be top 10 here in qualifying, so not all their eggs are in this qualifying basket. They focused a lot on race setup in the one and only practice session today. Marty?
All right, thank you, Jamie. As you can hear, the first car sounds like David Ruderman is making his way out onto the track, and we should be getting qualifying started.
How did you know that was David Ruderman by the way it sounded?
Well, he's good like that. I cheated. All right, obviously, David has been the focal point, along with Kyle Busch, of what happened last week. And unless you've been buried under a rock and haven't been anywhere near a television, this is what happened. Kyle admitted getting into him just enough to turn him. You can see the dent on the left rear quarter, and it put him into the wall. After getting the repairs done, coming back on lap 155, David tags him good, and it was enough to spin him around and end up with Kyle Busch getting a 21st place finish. So right now, everybody says that's in the past, so back to business of,
oh man, look at
trying
that
to qualify.
That's why this is hard.
Yeah, it's just carrying a lot of speed, and you're going to drive it harder when you get in there. That turns 1 and 2 is the most difficult part of this racetrack, I always found, especially getting ready to qualify. Easy to overdrive if you're
We
not careful.
saw Reed Sorensen actually spin off that corner in practice.
He was the only spin that we've had so far. Don't want to jinx anybody, but here comes David to cross the start-finish line. First lap on the board. We'll get a chance to see exactly what he does.
Picks it up from practice.
39.42. His best in practice was 39.5.
We're probably going to see most of these guys just take one lap. You have to really mess up to want to go a second lap. Your tires are pretty much gone. It's going to overheat.
You heard him say bad, 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 loose. We'll show you exactly what he means on this shot.
Well, he's already loose right there. You can see him actually having to correct even at that point. Then he tries to gas it up off this corner. Rear tires are just not stuck to the track.
His best start was in the spring race last year when he started 7th. His best finish was the fall race in 08 when he came home in 9th. That's his only top 10 in 7 prior starts here at Auto Club Speedway. So, our first qualifier is in the books. David Ruderman will give way now to A.J. Allmendinger. And boy, Dinger has been looking so good. Look at these runs that he's had. The 18th at Atlanta, followed by an 8th, a 12th, 2 tenths, where he really was a dominant car at Dover.
Yeah, he's not just a flash in the pan. He's been really, really solid. In practice today, he was right up front. Actually second, I believe, in practice. Yeah, second fastest. So he'll have a shot at this pole.
Yeah, he ran a 39.25.
See there, 206 miles per hour going down into turn 1. It's a real commitment that you make there. Yeah, I think that they're going to find a racetrack that's, even though we've had nationwide cars on the track, the temperature has gone up, so they're going to find a looser racetrack than what they had in practice. Plus the adjustments that they've made to try to make to ensure a little more speed, a little more tape, like Brewer was talking about, that plants the nose.
Getting a little loose coming out of 4 again.
He's definitely going to be slower than Ruderman's lap, so he's not going to be able to back up his practice time.
Comes across the stripe, 39.58 seconds, so that will slide him into the second position behind David Ruderman. And as you anticipated, DJ, he did shut it down and is going to settle for just the 1 lap. His best start was back in the fall race of 08 when he started second, came home 14th, and that's his best finish here at Auto Club Speedway.
And you know, as a driver, if you're loose on that first lap, that's not going to get better on the second lap. So there's just no sense unless you just have totally gotten out of control. And that's pretty much going to happen down in turns 1 and 2, because if you make that mistake in 3 and 4, something happens, you're not going to be carrying any speed when you get to the start-finish line. So it's really going to mess up both laps.
In the background, you can hear Joey Logano's car coming up to speed. There he is as he makes his way into turn 3 and 4. Coming off his best finish in 3 starts here at Auto Club Speedway back in the May event, or the spring event, I should say. He came home in 5th.
You know, Dale, when you look at this corner right here, it's not all that well defined from our angle anyway of where the corner entry is. Is it deceiving when you drive the car down in there?
Yeah, it's really difficult because you feel like that you can just continue to drive the car down into the corner. Problem is you just don't have a lot of banking to hold it. You have to hold it out so wide because of how rough it is on the bottom of the racetrack. So very, very difficult racetrack to try to negotiate a qualifying lap on.
Well, here he comes up out of turn 4. A lot of bouncing down that back stretch. We'll see what kind of time he turns in. Looks like he's going to get a good run off of 4, and he does. He takes over the top spot, 39.26. And let's talk to the man who's now been bumped to second, Doc.
David Ruderman out of the car. And, David, the good news is quicker than you were in practice. The bad news is Lucky Dog came back in with his eyes covered on the hood there. How loose was it?
Yeah, it was really, really loose. Couldn't quite seem to get it tightened up. We had our first qualifying run, and the Airstream machine was pretty good, and then and I screwed up the second run, so I kind of messed us up there, and we didn't really know exactly what we were going to have to do to be fast, and that's never going to even remotely stay close to where we need to qualify. So a bit of a disappointment, but hopefully we'll have a good car for the race.
This morning in your media availability, you commented on last week and said it was about one thing, respect. What was the message that was being sent not only to Kyle Busch but to others in the chase?
I don't know if it goes quite that deep. It just, I think I probably said enough on the subject, but I mean, it's unfortunate it ended up happening and tore up 2 good race cars, and that's unfortunate. But in the end, all you got to do is go out there and race me. That's all you got to do. And if there's no need to run over the car, and it was unfortunate, but it messed our days up, both of our days, the 18 and the 00, and it didn't really need to happen. So hopefully we'll get past that and go on a race.
Okay, David Ruderman, guys.
And Doc, as you finish up, we're watching Tony Stewart on a very good run right now. 7 out of the last 10 races here at Auto Club Speedway, he has been in the top 10. And if you're a Tony Stewart fan, that's the kind of stat you want.
Yeah, he's going to need another good weekend. He had a solid run last weekend, led a lot of laps.
It's going to be close, but he's going to be just behind Joey Logano, 39.39 seconds. It'll slide him into the number 2 spot now out of the 4 cars.
He picked up a ton from practice. He was only 28th fastest in practice at a 39.82, so he ought to be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, and Logano picked up about 4.5 tenths from his practice run, so some good adjustments being made by these crew chiefs and drivers.
Well, next up will be Denny Hamlin, who's second in the points. And if you remember, he outlined for Brad Daugherty a week ago that he had set some goals where he needed to feel like he would finish to win the championship. And you can see that he missed it by 1 at Dover, missed it by 7 at Kansas, and is hoping for a top 5 here.
There's one of the Chase drivers that has not led a lap this season. You know who it is?
I think we're looking at him.
We're looking at him. Denny Hamlin's not led a lap. The only Chase driver that hasn't led a lap in the Chase so far.
And that's the 3 races we've run so far. And actually, I think that would be surprising to just about everybody. All right, so now we'll track him on Lap Tracker at the bottom of your screen. He was the pole sitter here last year.
Something interesting I found that Jamie was talking about a while ago. This is a car they ran at Richmond, and that would never happen with the old cars. We talk about how you can take these cars and run them pretty much anywhere except for Daytona and Talladega.
Well, that was the idea behind this whole concept of this new car, that it was going to be so you couldn't mess with it much, so you couldn't really build a specialized car for short track or speedway or intermediate. Heck, with the old cars, we would have a different car for California than we would for Charlotte even. So it's pretty neat that they run a Martinsville car here.
They're not going to be too happy with this lap.
No, not at all. In fact, it is the slowest of the 5, 39.72 seconds. And Hamlin practiced at 39.69, so he actually slowed down. Well, while he continues on around, let's send it down to Jamie Little.
Well, it was a pretty big weekend for Greg Biffle. He brought it home in the victory lane, or victory circle. We're watching what's going on in qualifying right now. Greg, what are you expecting here? It looks like the track is definitely bumpier than last time you guys have been here.
Yeah, it seems like, especially on the backstretch, getting into turn 3, seems like there's some more bumps. But, the car felt pretty good in practice qualifying runs. So just a little bit tight off of 4. But we had a little wind coming from that direction, so make sure that I don't overdrive turn 1 and 2 and try and get another good lap. I think I got a top 10 starting spot car here, as long as I don't screw it up. Maybe if I do real good, maybe the front row.
All right, Greg Biffle won it here back in 2005. Let's go over to Doc.
And Joey Logano atop the speed charts here. Joey, how big a swing did these guys take at this car from where you were in practice?
It took a pretty big swing. I was really struggling with the car, getting into the turns, really nose is bouncing a lot, and Zip and the guys did a good job. It drove completely different than what I had, so I was pretty pumped up about it. I was kind of surprised about how good it was and how hard I was able to push it. So I was pretty happy with that lap. I don't know where it's going to put us there, but should be better than what we were in practice, so that's a good thing.
Marty on the way in, Joey said this is a car that's good enough to win on Sunday. Remember, Toyota's never won a cup race here at Auto Club Speedway.
Well, I'll tell you what, Doc, while you were watching Joey, we were watching Kurt, and he was wicked loose coming through 1 and 2, and it's going to cost him dearly here. He has the most poles of anybody here on the grounds with 3, but this isn't going to be a pole run.
He looked like he had bees in there he was trying to get out, swatting around. Man, he carried 207 miles per hour into turn 1, but...
Well, that's what we heard Biffle saying, that he's got to be really careful not to overdrive that turn because of the wind.
Who do we have to thank for that one?
Well, he's 2/10 slower than his best time from practice. So for the second car in a row, both of them Chase contenders. They are not going to be in a very good starting position by the time qualifying is over. Right now, Joey Logano is on top.
What a great event to drive to.
Especially on new Fuel Max tires.
Introducing Goodyear Fuel Max tires. An innovative tread compound saves you 2,600 miles worth of gas over the life of the tires.
2,600 miles.
Now that would be a long race.
Goodyear. Get there.
Get your career cooking. Literally. With Le Cordon Bleu training. You could train as a culinary professional and work at restaurants, resorts, bakeries, catering companies, and more. Call now for a complimentary career guide.
Call a Le Cordon Bleu school at 888-573-5888. 888-573-5888. Call now.
ESPN has a brand new channel, Goal Line. Every Saturday, we'll be your remote control.
Ball is loose. James Madison's got the ball.
Taking you around the country.
Let's go out to East Lansing. It's a fake. Bates is going to throw.
To see all the big moments live.
Meanwhile, in Oxford, Blanchard, the pass, it's good!
For when it counts on Saturday, watch ESPN Goal Line. Saturdays noon to midnight. Available on Time Warner Cable, Verizon Fios, and Bright House Networks.
Monday, All-Pro Randy Moss returns to the Vikings to team up with Brett Favre in an explosive Monday night matchup against Mark Sanchez and the first-place Jets. ESPN Monday Night Football. Vikings-Jets at 8:30.
Well, everything looks good. We've got your car in stock. Let's just check out your credit score and we'll work out your financing.
All right, sounds good.
Did you know everyone has 3 credit scores? And just one bad score could really hurt you.
Whoa! That's going to be a problem.
What do you mean?
Your credit score could be affected by inaccuracies, outdated information, or even identity theft. Now tracking your score is easy at freescore.com. Unlike other services that only provide one score, freescore.com lets you see all 3 credit scores for free. And that's important because a single bad score could cause you to be denied a loan, pay higher interest rates, and spend more for the things you want. So get all 3 scores for free at freescore.com. Plus, you'll get unlimited access to your complete credit profile, 24/7 credit alerts, and the quickest way to spot inaccuracies at all 3 credit bureaus.
Congratulations.
Thank you. You're welcome.
One place, 3 scores. Get your scores now at freescore.com.
Free score! Freescore.com.
Marcus Ambrose, man from Australia, down under, is on track right now, trying to put the 47 in a good spot, getting a little loose there. We've seen last 2 cars, both Chase contenders. And you were talking about trying to send messages. I don't think Denny Hamlin and Kurt Busch sent a very good message to the rest of the field.
Oh, you see right there for Marcus Ambrose, he was in the green also, right between 1 and 2, actually coming off of 2, and got real loose. I'm not sure if these drivers aren't just trying to get a little bit extra, and it's costing them that, or whether there's a wind issue, like we heard Biffle talking about getting down into turn 1, where they're actually carrying a lot more speed there.
Well, Ambrose moves into the number 4 spot right now, 39.54 his time. While he brings it on around, let's talk to Tony Stewart, Doc.
And I think Tony sent a message last week to his fans that this chase is far from over, Tony, leading the most laps, having a top 5 finish, and a good run here at California today.
Yeah, so far, really proud of Darian Grubb and everybody on the Office Depot Old Spice team. We weren't very good at the end of practice, and Darian made a really big adjustment there, and the car really responded to it. So that's things that are encouraging for the whole weekend, and when you can make a change like that and the car responds in the way that you're wanting it to. So I got a lot to look forward to.
Right now, he's second on the leaderboard, guys. Marty?
Well, and I would be curious to find out with what he thinks of Hamlin and Busch's run. I mean, I don't think any of the three of us thought those two would be that slow. I mean, they are going to be well down in this field when all is said and done.
Well, that's the thing that makes this a difficult qualifying lap, because the more you try to get sometimes with this, the slower you're going to go. And, we've heard this before. Sometimes you have to slow down to go faster. And if you try to charge and attack this racetrack just a little bit too much, you don't have the banking to catch you. You don't have the grip there. So the next thing you know, you're kind of out of control, and you just have to hang on.
Well, speaking of hanging on, look at Kevin Conway as he is slipping down deep into the red. He made his Cup debut here back in February, started 38th, finished 31st in that race.
Kevin really struggled in practice too, Marty. He was 42nd quick at 40.93. So it looked like it's going to be a lot better than that.
Unless he comes across the line, we'll get his time.
Well, it is a little better. 3/10 better, 30.62.
40.62. It puts him 8th out of the 8 cars.
Wicked tight.
So where everybody else was loose, he was claiming his was too tight. All right, let's talk about football, because Saturday night on ABC, we've got a great matchup. Christian Ponder leads 23rd ranked Seminoles against Ja'Cory Harris, the 13th ranked Miami Hurricanes. Some on the West Coast will see USC take on the Stanford Cardinal. It's Saturday Night Football presented by Southwest Airlines on ABC, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. All right, let's get down to Jamie Little. She's caught up with Kyle Busch.
Well, Kyle's teammates are 1st and 6th right now. I don't think you had a chance to see Denny's run, but you did see Joey's run. What are you expecting, Kyle?
Hopefully a good run for us. Our M&M's Camry was really good earlier, and Dave's done a nice job, and all the guys did a good job in qualifying practice. So we'll see how the qualifying run goes here. I'm looking forward to it. Maybe not being as loose as some.
You think you'll be better than Joey?
I don't know. Joey knows how to qualify here. He's beat me about 4 times in a row for the pole on the nationwide side, so I'm just looking for a good solid run. That's all we need.
All right, Kyle Busch, 3-time winner here in the nationwide series. Marty?
Well, Jamie, as you finish up, I'm wondering, guys, if these crew chiefs have overestimated or underestimated what the track slickness has really done to these cars.
Well, we see a lot of tail-happy race cars, but look at this. David Reagan's able to recover from that right there in turns 1 and 2 and challenge for the pole if he can get off this corner good.
Yeah, I talked to David a little bit this morning. He was really excited about some things they have going on. His new crew chief, he said he just thinks a lot of good things are happening. And this looks like a run that's going to put him on the outside of the front row right now.
And it does. 39.34 seconds puts him right alongside of Joey Logano, and he'll be looking to improve on his best finish here at Auto Club Speedway, which was 7th in this race just 1 year ago. So as David Reagan rolls it on back, it'll be Scott Speed, Mark Martin, Greg Biffle coming up when qualifying continues on a beautiful day in Southern California.
The stakes have been raised at the World Series of Poker. The countdown to the final table is on. The main event field has narrowed to just 78, with young guns and seasoned veterans all eyeing a shot at poker immortality. Who will hit? Who will miss? Who will draw?
Take matters in your own hands. Keep that car running better, longer. Do everything you can to make sure a small job doesn't turn into a costly one. And AutoZone is the one place with the expertise and tools you need to do the job right the first time. Because do it yourself doesn't mean you have to do it alone. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
On your next business trip, pack your Marriott Rewards Visa card. Get triple points every time you use your card at Marriott. Apply now and earn 22,500 bonus points when you use your card and enjoy a free night's stay. So before you know it, work time becomes well-deserved downtime. Apply now at Marriott.com/free night stay. You've got staying power.
Some Someone just ordered on PapaJohns.com, and Papa John is already on his way.
Papa's in the house. I got pizza.
Get an order of cheese sticks free when you buy any large specialty pizza at regular menu price. Plus, get a free Coke Zero when you buy 2 20-ounce Cokes only today and only at PapaJohns.com.
You click your mouse, Papa comes to your house. That works.
Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Welcome to the show. Fiberglass Boomtown, Mecca for the V8 faithful. Pilgrims, diehards, gearheads, zealots, a multitude of fans bound together by a ribbon of asphalt, celebrating as one the triumph of speed and the escape from everything routine. If you've never been, check your expectations at the gate. Everything else is just a game.
Back here at Auto Club Speedway, where we've had several surprises so far in qualifying. You're looking at Scott Speed. He qualified 13th here back in February. And he is on his run right now. And the surprises, if you have just tuned in, are the fact that two of our chase contenders really fell off from their practice speeds and are probably going to end up deep in this field by the time it's all over. Tracking just south of the line, Scott Speed coming through 4.
And not a bad lap. See if he can get off of turn 4 carrying some speed.
He's not able to break the 42nd bracket in practice, but he does here quite a bit, actually. A nice pickup, 39.57.
And that'll move him into the number 6 spot. So that'll now shift all eyes towards Mark Martin. And Mark was looking very racy in practice today. There he is.
We saw Mark have a much better weekend last weekend, even though he probably still didn't come up with the finish that he was totally looking for, but he made a charge up through the pack and did well and had a good practice session here this morning.
You see there where his best start was back in September of 05. He won in 98 here and finished 4th the last 2 races here at Auto Club Speedway, and he was 5th fastest in the morning practice.
Mark is a veteran that knows that a lot like the Michigan Speedway, where you have to be really careful at adjusting your car to the looser side too much. You can't go fast here when you got it a little bit on that freer side.
And we've seen everybody be loose right down here in turns 1 and 2. We'll see what Mark does.
Well, we got word from our pit reporters during the break that Denny Hamlin's team were talking about the seams, that's what caused the car to get loose.
Mark really good through there. It's about the most stable car we've seen through 1 and 2.
Tracker's looking good. He's actually ahead of Joey Logano heading into 3. Now falling back a little.
Yeah, Joey was really fast off of this corner, carried a lot of speed off of 4 into the line.
Well, this is going to be close. It's like about 100th of a second right now, heading for the stripe. Does he get him?
Oh, it's close.
Wow. Oh, so close.
1,000th of a second.
Yeah, 39.267. Joey is 39.266. Let's talk to David Reagan. How about it, Jerry?
Well, it is good to see David Reagan climb out of a race car in a garage with a big smile on his face. David, great run. And I heard you say on the radio that you left something on the table, maybe entering 1.
Yeah, I think I just drove in a little too hard, and our car was a little free in qualifying trim in practice, so Drew and I talked about it, and we decided not to change much. And, the track's a little warmer now, and maybe gave up a half a tenth or a tenth. But all in all, our car's got pretty good speed, and hopefully that'll wind up in the top 10, top 15 for our UPS team.
Well, the Drew he mentioned, by the way, new crew chief Drew Blickensderfer, who was here also with a big smile on his face. Let's talk with Jeff Gordon. Jamie?
Well, Jeff Gordon's been watching the fan view, watching the times here. Last weekend, your crew chief told me this racetrack, you guys have to strike. Jeff, what do you think? Can you guys strike here with this car?
Yeah, I think we definitely need to be solid, and, we know this is a track that we can strike at. Hasn't gone exactly as planned today with our Pepsi Max Chevrolet. We've been off a little bit in practice, but track's picked up a little bit, and Steve and the guys made some good adjustments, I feel like. So we'll see if we can make that, go to work for us in this qualifying run. I think we're going to race good. I mean, we always race really well here. It's a track that I like, and a track that we have a great setup, for and work our way through there no matter how we qualify. So it's going to be an interesting weekend. Just the intensity of the chase just picks up each and every weekend, And I think one of the other things, the 48 is going to run good here. 29 ran really good the last time we were here. So, if we're going to catch those guys up front, and 11 ran pretty good too, we know we got to step it up.
All right, they certainly have a good setup. 3-time winner here, and the 16 guys jumps up to the top, Marty.
Yeah, talking about stepping it up. Greg Biffle just did it. He takes over the
didn't
point.
drive it in enough and got the apron I wanted to and run me up the track.
Actually, I think he used a lot of discipline getting in turn one. I think when he goes back and looks at the tracker, he'll realize he did a really pretty good job down there.
Yeah, momentum is a wonderful thing. You build off of confidence in this sport. When good things are happening for you, that just leads you to do even better the next week. And Greg got to put down a nice lap here.
Well, in 15 prior races here at Auto Club Speedway, his best start has been second twice. Does he get the pole? We talked about him picking up right where he left off. So far, he's done it. Now can he hang on as we get ready now for Brad Keselowski. Brad had himself a handful of a race car during practice. His 25th quick time of 39.76.
Yeah, it's not much better right here. It looks like he was a little tentative and loose getting in the corner, and he stays up real high on the racetrack.
That makes him a pretty good
I didn't
runner.
want to do that, but I think it might have worked.
Yeah, sometimes
He must have heard me.
Yeah, sometimes you're a passenger more than you are an actual driver, and sometimes things work out for you.
There's Jay Guy, the crew chief. He's waiting on him to get back. He's looking at that stopwatch. He says, I want to see that car coming quick.
Well, his only other race here was back in February. Started 21st, finished 21st. Right now, he's 7th, 39.51 seconds, which is about a 0.2 improvement over what he practiced earlier today. So a total of 13 drivers have taken times. Let's talk to Mark Martin. How about it, Doc?
Well, Marty, that is the Mark Martin we all know and love. A guy at the top of the speed charts, at or near the top mark. And is this car good enough now? You've been good all weekend so far to be the car on Sunday?
It could be. I just want to thank everybody. Of course, all our guys at the 5 car, Allen and Gustafson and everybody that dig so hard at Hendrick Motorsports. But, I want to say a big thanks to all our CarQuest teammates out there and GoDaddy.com and Delphi, and welcome eBay Motors on board as well. It's early in the weekend, but this is the kind of race car that you can take and win a race with.
Mark Martin doesn't say that very often, guys, unless he's got a really good race car, Marty, so watch out on Sunday.
Well, he's been having better runs the last couple of races. We'll find out, as you said, Doc. Right now, we're looking at Kyle Busch. Remember, Kyle said, well, Joey's beaten me out of the pole quite a few times this year. There's a few other things that Joey's beaten him out of. He was the youngest Cup pole winner until Joey came along. Joey beat him by 1 day. He was the youngest Cup winner, race winner in 05 until Joey comes along and wins New Hampshire in 09.
Well, man. Couldn't get off that corner. I thought he was going to have a shot at him off turn 4, but slipped just a little.
It's about a 10th off right now as he heads for the stripe.
Yeah, good solid lap for Kyle, though.
Puts him in the 4th spot right now with that 39.31. And guess what? Joey's ahead of him by 2 spots. Coming out now is one of the guys who has been extremely consistent over the last 5 races, Ryan Newman. And take a look at the numbers. These are the best of the non-chasers. You can see average finish. He is the best at 8.3, which would rank him 5th in the entire field. And all the way back to Dale Earnhardt Jr., who in these races, the 3 races, he'd be 15th right now.
Well, these guys, even though we talk about the chase, and that's what it's about, is winning a championship in these last 10, these guys have a lot to work on in getting themselves prepared to be a part of that chase scenario next year. So, they don't want to stop just because they didn't make the chase. There's a lot to be gained from finishing up your season well.
There's also races to win and trophies to win, and all these drivers want to do that. So, still some more of that opportunity for Ryan Newman and a lot of those other guys.
Yeah, and there's things that he can do, too, to help his teammate and owner, Tony Stewart, in his quest for a championship. So, there's a lot of work to be done, and that's why they race hard. They're race drivers. That's what makes our sport so different when you start talking about, having a playoff system and a season-ending deal, that everybody's still out here. Everybody's still wanting to do the same thing that they started at Daytona. That's to win a race.
Heading for the stripe, Ryan Newman comes across, and it'll slot him into the number 4 spot right now at 39.29 seconds. And so with a total of 15 cars now in the books, as we get ready to head for a commercial break, Ryan Newman coasts it on out. Only one of the 20 races here in California have been won from the pole, and that was Jimmy back in 08.
I know you love this car. A lot of memories. I'm glad you're all right.
At the Hartford, we hear from our AARP auto insurance customers all the time. But not just about savings and benefits for drivers 50 and over. Usually, they just want to thank us for making a difficult time a little less difficult.
It's perfect. Where'd you find it? I was just driving up here. There's
The AARP auto insurance program from the Hartford.
Yo, Troy, you been using my shampoo? Because it's for guys who want thicker looking hair.
I didn't use it.
Didn't you?
No.
Didn't you?
Yes.
Head & Shoulders Hair Endurance. Thicker looking hair in 1 week. Guaranteed.
Attention drivers, has your manufacturer's warranty expired or is it about to expire? How will you pay the hundreds, even thousands of dollars needed to get your car back on the road? Quick Cash 123 is here to help you with your financial needs. Call now and we will connect you with one of our preferred extended protection providers.
New Sobakawa Cloud Pillow, a pillow 300 years in the making, based on the traditional Asian buckwheat pillow. The Sobakawa Cloud is filled with over 10 million air beads, a virtual sea of clouds. It does 3 things no other pillow does. Gives adjustable support, cools your head, and never breaks down. We placed eggs on the bottom of these cylinders, filled this cylinder with feathers from an expensive pillow. This 10-pound weight crushes the feathers and smashes the eggs. In this tube, we have stuffing from a fiber pillow, and it offers little resistance. Then we tried memory foam, and the weight wins again. Now watch as the weight hits the air beads. They absorb the shock, and the eggs are safe. Order your Sobakawa Cloud Pillow for just $19.99. Call right now and we'll double your order. You'll receive a second Sobakawa pillow and pillowcase for just the shipping and handling. But you have to call now.
To order your Sobakawa Cloud Pillow, call 1-800-921-0685. 1-800-921-0685. Call now.
Paul Menard's had a bit of a struggle when it comes to Auto Club Speedway, and qualifying in 7 races, his best starting position has only been 20th. He'd like to improve on that. And his best race finish has been 18th, and that was back in February.
I think he's going to improve on both because we've seen a huge improvement in this driver and team.
Yeah, we saw from that list of the non-chasers that have done so well, and he was on that list. Really have improved a lot and on the right track. And he's going to Childress Racing next year.
He'll be the 4th car there. The Menards family sponsorship going along as well. He's got a good run going here. Heads for the stripe. We'll find out where he slots in right now. 16th car to take a time, and he is in the number 9 position. While he brings it on around, let's talk to the provisional pole sitter. How about it, Doc?
Well, Greg Biffle's a Wizard of Oz fan, so I'll say to you, as Dorothy said to Toto, we're not in Kansas anymore, but it didn't make any difference. You're at the top of the pylon here again at California. Great lap in qualifying.
Yeah, it was a great lap. I'm probably left a little out there, so I'm sure some guys will nip us off. But, it's still going to be a good starting spot for us. And, these cars, these guys are doing such a great job back at the shop and the engine department. It's big power out here at California. You need a car to run good. But Erwin and the guys are giving me great stuff right now. And just real excited that my whole family's here, so maybe another win.
And Marty, they're pretty pumped too. They're only 85 points back of the lead, even though they're 8th in the standings in the chase. They think they got a really good shot at putting a dent in that this weekend.
Yeah, I was talking to him this morning, Doc, and you're right. I mean, the confidence factor, they are really liking. And remember, he's got the 2 Ford wins this year as we now get ready for Jeff Gordon, a 3-time winner.
They're really struggling in practice, though. They just never really got it where they wanted it.
Well, you can see that he got off of turn 4 and down the front straightaway good. Carried a lot of speed into turn 1. So he's chasing it a little bit.
Yeah, but look at the trackers.
Yep.
Looking pretty good so far.
He's off by about 6 100ths down the backstretch.
Yeah, this is going to be the best lap he's made all weekend.
See if he can get some grip right here where he can get back to the throttle. See him really fighting the steering wheel.
Yeah, what did he say on the radio? He was swatting flies?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's still a pretty good lap.
Looking pretty good here, though.
As he comes across the stripe, he comes into the 6th position, 39.33 seconds.
0.4 faster than his practice times.
Right behind Kyle Busch, right ahead of David Reagan. Let's talk a little motorsports for the weekend because our nationwide series will be running at California tomorrow at 4 Eastern on ESPN2 as you see Dale Jr. signing autographs. Sprint Cup action, of course, the Pepsi Mac 400, Sunday, 3 o'clock on ESPN with countdown starting at 2 Eastern. And then for the straight liners, we got the Toyo Tires NHRA Nationals. The countdown to the championship continues with qualifying tomorrow night, 10:30 Eastern on ESPN2, and then switch over to ESPN Sunday for the finals at 9 o'clock Eastern Time.
Okay, here's my pick for the pole. We'll see what he can do.
Well, he was pretty consistent, and he loves that high line. He runs higher than anybody else we've seen today.
Yeah, he really does, especially coming to get to green. Let's see if he's going to continue that around. We've seen this a number of times that he opts for that higher line. We've seen most of the guys try to get their cars right down on the bottom, but Montoya seems to think that he can carry more speed and get a better drive on the exit of the corner. That's what he's going to do right here.
Man, he's way up the track. He was carrying more speed. I mean, he was in the green right from the start-finish line. So that works on the get-up-to-speed lap for sure. Okay, right here's where he's got to make up time down this straightaway by using that high line.
And he is.
He is coming back.
He's into the negative, which puts him ahead of Biffle's pace, now falling off in 3 and 4.
Now he's right on that white line in 3 and 4.
Now it's coming back.
Yeah.
This is going to be close.
Yeah. Well,
he may have it.
Not going to be too close by the time he gets to the line.
He comes across, and Greg Biffle was right. It's not going to hold. Juan Pablo Montoya is now your new provisional pole sitter, 39.11 seconds.
P1. Please no comments.
I think that's a little strategy right there. You heard Brian Patty, the crew chief. He didn't want any comments on the radio because he doesn't want anybody else to benefit. And we'll talk about it offline.
That's right. Or he could do it in Spanish, and maybe that would get everybody confused.
I'm not sure Brian would understand though.
Yeah. Oh, you're saying a number of these drivers wouldn't understand what he was saying?
Hey,
Come on now.
I don't know more than 5 words in Spanish, so
That was a heck of a lap, man. It
really
amazing.
was. And
Watch him get the car down to the bottom there and get back to the throttle off of turn 4.
Well, the whole thing. I mean, the turn 1 and 2 running way up on the track, and then coming back through 3 and 4 on the bottom.
Yeah, he had the whole thing calculated out exactly what he needed to do.
Well, we shouldn't have been surprised. I mean, he did start second here back in February, although the engine problem put him in a 37th place finish back in that same race a few months ago. How about Travis Kvapil right now? Front Row Motorsports, big shakeup, several crew chief changes. They're trying to get that third car, the number 38, in the top 35 in owner points for next year, so they'll have all 3 exempt for the first 5 races.
He did win a Truck Series pole here in 04, so knows how to get around.
Started 39th, finished 30th back in the race in February. And this one's not going to be all that great. As you can see, lap tracker, he is over a second behind Montoya's time as he comes across the line. And he'll be 18th out of 19 cars, 40.43. Only Kevin Conway has been slower. And the irony is, guess who the next 2 guys, Denny Hamlin and Kurt Busch, are 16th and 17th. Let's check in with Jamie Little.
Down here with Clint Boyer, the 33 car, moving down the road just a little bit. Of course, in the news again, but it is behind him now. The appeal upheld. So this weekend, your crew chief is not here. Shane Wilson, you have, where is he? He's wandering around here somewhere. Scott Miller, how are things going?
Pretty good. Had a few things that were just kind of off the wall, really. Had a vibration that caused some things, got set back early, but so far so good. I think we were, 10th or 12, somewhere in that land in practice. Worked on a car a little bit, struggled to get it turned into the corner, but the Hartford Chevrolet, is pretty fast. I think I can improve my time if I hit it right. Very, tricky racetrack, really. I think that the tire, the grip combination is really finicky getting off into the corner on if you drive it in too hard, you're going to miss the bottom and so on. So as long as I can, be easy and patiently aggressive, I think I'll be all right.
All right, Scott Miller will be his crew chief for 4 races. Marty?
Well, we're
What's
watching
this all about?
in amazement here because the Richard Childress racing machines have not been known for qualifying. And look at this. Burton is
got
right
a
there.
Good half lap so far. Let's see if he can carry it.
All the way down on the apron with the left side tires.
See if he can carry this speed off the corner.
He's slipping back a little
bit. But still a great lap. I mean, they have not been qualifying good lately, especially last week we're in the 20s. I think this will be a little better.
Puts him in the number 6 spot, 39.29 seconds out of the 20 cars that have now taken times. So a good run for Jeff Burton. Let's talk to Juan Pablo. Doc?
And Juan climbing out of the car, talking to Brian Patty about the car and the run he had. And Juan Pablo, great effort. We saw you high in 1 and 2, and you drove down off of 4 with the throttle, and that's where the difference was.
But it was a good lap, Target Chevy. We were really good in practice, especially beginning of practice. Got too tired at the end. I went through 1 and 2, and I thought, I don't know if it's just going to be that good. It was okay. It was a little tighter. I wanted to be there, but my line is so different than anybody else there that sometimes works, sometimes doesn't, and just overall it was a good lap.
Why is your line different than everybody else here?
I don't know. I guess my background, but it works, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Maybe going for his 3rd pole this year. I think I'd go to his line if I were some of the other guys.
The other 2 poles at New Hampshire and at Indianapolis, and all top 10s in the last 11 races, including 7 top 5s. He's gotten the qualifying routine down. How about Regan Smith right now? And he's tracking pretty well through 2.
Yeah, I was talking to Joe Garone. He's a team manager for this Furniture Row racing team. There's Pete Rondeau, the crew chief, and they've actually made a lot of headway with this team. They based out of Denver, Colorado, and a little out of the mainstream, so to speak, but they are doing an excellent job. And Regan Smith has just really come around as a driver too.
Slipping just a little coming out of 4. You can see Tracker heading south. But still, this is going to be a pretty good run for Regan. It puts him 10th out of 21 cars. All right, so now with 21 down, we still have quite a few key players coming up, including Jimmy Johnson. That's right, the 4-time champ is yet to qualify.
The stakes have been raised at the World Series of Poker. The countdown to the final table is on. The main event field has narrowed to just 78, with young guns and seasoned veterans all eyeing a shot at poker immortality. Who will hit? Who will miss? Who will draw what?
It's about to happen. Right on top of us. Let's move. Let's move. Get on the phone. We got to call this in. Hurry. I can be aware of the situation.
A tornado warning.
It's a tornado. Go, 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 go. Go. There's someone in there. Where's the medic? Hello. Oh, my God. Stay down. Daddy. Are you guys okay?
Storm Chasers premieres Wednesday at 10 on Discovery.
Are you okay?
Chase Freedom helps you maximize your cash back. Apply and sign up to earn a total of 5% cash back on popular categories that change, like gas, groceries, dining, home improvement, and more. And unlike most cashback cards, get a full 1% on all other spending. Plus $100 cash back by making $800 in purchases in the first 3 months with your Chase Freedom credit card. Call or go to ChaseFreedomCash.com. It's the only card you'll ever need. Chase Freedom.
Yeah!
Someone just ordered on PapaJohns.com, and Papa John is already on his way.
Papa's in the house. I got pizza!
Get an order of cheese sticks free when you buy any large specialty pizza at regular menu price. Plus, get a free Coke Zero when you buy 2 20-ounce Cokes only today and only at PapaJohns.com.
You click your mouse, Papa comes to your house. That works. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's!
When NASCAR fans think about NASCAR, they think performance. They think precision. They think quality. And when NASCAR fans think about their own car, they should expect nothing less. When looking for automotive brands that represent performance, precision, and quality, look for the NASCAR Performance family of automotive brands.
It's been a long season for Sam Hornish Jr. He'd like nothing better than to come back to a track where he is very familiar from his IndyCar days, running here and pick up a good top 10 run. You can see his 5 career starts. His best start, 7th, back in February of 08.
He has had a couple of top 10 starts here.
In fact, he qualified 8th back in February, ended up 16th in that race. In this race a year ago, he ended up 12th, so he's on the verge of cracking that top 10.
Oh.
Whoa.
That was just what Doc's talking about, going across those seams. You can see that right there. That right rear tire slip.
And look what it did to the lap.
Yeah. It's one of the things, Montoya did such a good job of by staying high. He was not driving across those seams going in and coming off of turns 1 and 2. So I think that was obviously a good decision.
Well, Sam, as he comes across the stripe, we'll find out where he slots in. And right now it would be 19th out of 22 cars, 39.82 seconds. He splits Denny Hamlin and Kurt Busch. The 83 of Reed Sorensen pulls out onto the 2-mile oval here at Auto Club. Here's what's happened earlier today. This is the only incident we've had so far.
Yeah, and that was his last lap on the track, I believe, and that's never fun. You have to go qualify then your next time. They were struggling in practice to start with. Obviously, it made the car freer to try to get a little bit more speed out of it and got a little bit too loose for Reed out of 2. So see if they've made some adjustments on this car for him. I'm sure they did, see if they were the right ones.
Well, you saw the car bouncing down the backstretch. Gives you an idea just how rough it is.
Yeah, if that car was bouncing basically diagonally across the corners, it had a kind of a funny look to it down the backstretch. Tell you, the shock package, the bump stop package, all of that is so hard to get right here because of all the bumps.
This is what I was talking about. Look how the thing is just bouncing.
Basically bouncing across that right front to left rear. The left front looked fairly stable.
Well, I was talking to Bob Osborne between the practice and qualifying, and he was talking about how it is a compromise here. There's no one thing you can stand on. You've got to give up something to get something. And for Sorensen, they're going to be still looking for something. 39.54.
They still picked up a ton from practice.
Yeah, a lot.
That's not going to be where they want to be, but it's still better.
Right there with his teammate, about 0.03 of a second. So that's what you want as a team, is to have your cars run the same speed. You just prefer that they be a little faster.
Well, as he brings it on in, going out will be the 88 of Dale Earnhardt Jr. It'll be his 20th race here at Auto Club Speedway. And as we take a look back on his career, first with DEI and then with Hendrick Motorsports, big difference, as only the 1 win so far with Hendrick and 15 top 5s. And people still scratching their heads wondering when this team will come to life.
Well, there's a lot that can be made of those stats and everything. I mean, they had things really going on over there, and great program, and not that Hendrick doesn't have, but you also looked at, he came over here and then they changed cars, and some of the drivers honestly have adapted to these type cars and what it takes a little better than others, and sometimes it just takes a little bit more. But we keep hoping. You see right here, he's got a great lap through turns 1 and 2 and down the back straightaway.
Yep. Hang on, Junior Nation. You may have a surprise here.
See, he's up on the racetrack even more than Montoya was down on this end, but he utilized that down in turns 1. Lost a little time there, but going to be a great effort.
Might go the other way. No, he's not able to carry any more momentum, but that's what a great lap.
Yeah, he goes from 22nd in practice to 3rd. And listen to the crowd.
Great lap, Dale. 3rd quick, I had a 39.50. Great lap.
Well, officially
definitely a crew chief.
That's a crew chief.
Thank you.
Yours, Andy, but it still was a great lap.
39.22 to be exact. He practiced at 39.74. He picked up a full half second. That is huge. Good run for Dale Jr. All right, let's check in with Jamie.
And Carl Edwards here, just getting ready to roll out. So, Carl, you sat out second nationwide practice to help you with qualifying here. How will it help you?
Well, last week I qualified 31st with our Aflac Fusion at Kansas. And as the race went on, I got to thinking, man, if I'd have qualified 21st or 15th or 10th even, it would have made a big difference in the race. So Eric Darnell was nice enough to practice that Copart Fusion so that maybe I'd have a better chance of making my first lap perfect here in the Aflac Fusion. But now it's up to me. If I go out and if I mess this lap up, it doesn't. Then that didn't help us much. But it's a good effort on everyone's part to put this Aflac Fusion in the best position to win the championship.
All right, his focus is on the championship. He sits fourth. Marty?
Well, thanks, Jamie. And that goes back to something you were talking about, Andy.
Yeah, about the start of the show, I was talking about why qualifying is important. Even though it's a big, wide racetrack that you can make passes, you still spend a lot. Man, look at this lap coming. That's 2:10s. That McMurray's faster than Montoya off of turn 2.
He ran a lot lower line, carried the speed in there, but he had his car down on the racetrack. If he gets through here at all, this is going to be easy.
He's picking up even more.
Oh, this is over here. I'd say this pole competition's over.
Man, well, it could be an all Earnhardt Ganassi bracket. Here he comes, and yes, you're going to have a new pole sitter, and it's a front row of Earnhardt Ganassi, McMurray, and Montoya. The M&M boys are ready to race.
Far ahead as he is, they should just give him the whole front row there. Make him start back in the next one.
Well, of course, it has been a huge year for Jamie McMurray and, of course, his team owner, Chip Ganassi.
Pretty damn good, man.
It is pretty good. How about we take you back to February when he wins the Daytona 500. Had tears in victory lane. And then, of course, Ganassi goes on to win the Indy 500 with Dario Franchitti. They end up winning the championship as well. Oh, and then the Brickyard 400 came along, and there was the win, and Chip celebrates. So does his driver, as they should have, because it has been a heck of a year for Jamie McMurray. And as we mentioned, they just clinched the IndyCar championship. Dario Franchitti out-dueling Will Power. So Franchitti, three-time champion now in that series.
Well, as we watch the tracker now, we're not going to see a lot of green, I'll bet.
Should point out for Nationwide fans, Danica Patrick's racing here. She finished second in that race, a legitimate second. I mean, she was racing her teammate Tony Kanaan hard, and she practiced very well. She was fourth
quick in
Nationwide practice. So let's focus back now on Clint Boyer. He knows his championship hopes are over, but he can collect a lot of data and help his teammates as much as they can. Right now, he's about 3/10 off.
He was walking that car up out of turn 4. Shows he didn't have a lot of...
Still a good lap for him.
Good enough for 7th right now, 39.28 seconds. And guys, the more cars that I continue to see going, I keep looking at Denny Hamlin and Kurt Busch. Right now, they are down in 22nd and 24th and still heading in the wrong direction. All right, so right now, with a total of 26 cars taking times, Juan Pablo Montoya and Jamie McMurray are at the top. McMurray is your provisional pole sitter.
For centuries, people have been painting with brushes and rollers. Maybe this is the weekend to stop. The new True Coat paint sprayer by Graco. Handheld, professional grade. It's easy to use for a long-lasting finish every time. And you'll finish your job up to 10 times faster. So in the time it took to spray this fence, this is all you could paint with a brush. True Coat, now at Lowe's, Sherwin-Williams, and other fine paint stores.
We've got your car in stock. Let's just check out your credit score and we'll work out your financing.
Sounds good. Did you know everyone has 3 credit scores? And just one bad score could really hurt you.
Whoa! That's going to be a problem.
What do you mean? Your credit score could be affected by inaccuracies or even identity theft. Now tracking your score is easy at freescore.com. Unlike other services that only provide one score, freescore.com lets you see all 3 credit scores for free. Get your scores now at freescore.com.
Free score! Freescore.com!
Get your career cooking. Literally. With Le Cordon Bleu training. You could train as a culinary professional and work at restaurants, resorts, bakeries, catering companies, and more. Call now for a complimentary career guide.
Call a Le Cordon Bleu school at 888-573-5888. 888-573-5888. Call now.
Where do I get my daily NASCAR fix? Log on to NASCAR.com. NASCAR.com.
They have everything.
They have highlights,
Interviews, preview shows.
me shows. You say me shows? My show, Kyle's Corner. Tons of videos.
I like the articles myself.
Articles?
Yeah, the articles, Track Smack, Splash and Go.
Hey, look, whatever you need, I promise you, NASCAR.com has it.
NASCAR.com. 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 Check it out.
Saturday on ESPN College Game Day.
Guys ready?
Yes, sir.
Chris, Lee, Kirk, Daz, and Aaron pull into Columbia, South Carolina as Steve Spurrier's Gamecocks brace themselves for the top-ranked Tide. Plus,
Kids just surrounded me from the end zone. I think we got a 5th down situation here.
we'll revisit the infamous 5th down game on its 20th anniversary. ESPN College Game Day, built by the Home Depot. Saturday at 9 a.m. on ESPNU, continuing at 10 on ESPN.
Back here at Auto Club Speedway on the track now, Martin Truex Jr. trying to improve on his career best start here at Auto Club Speedway, which is a 5th. And while he starts his run, let's check in with Dr. Jerry Punch.
Well, Dale Earnhardt Jr., a 39.22. You picked up a half a second, bud. Where'd that come from?
We just made a lot of changing on the car and decided not to run the bottom. The car is just not liking the seams from the exit off of 2. So the less seams you go under, the less you got a crossover coming off the corner. So, the middle was pretty grippy, and the temperature right now is real good for it. So we probably had a little more speed in the car, but real happy with that lap.
The sister track to California is Michigan, where you got your last win. Do you have something for them on Sunday?
We got to work on the car, see what we have tomorrow during practice, and we'll know that was a good lap. And I think being a day race, this thing's going to move up the racetrack pretty fast, and a lot of guys are going to be running in the middle of the top, and hopefully we can work on our car tomorrow up there a little bit and get it to handling pretty good around the middle of the top of the racetrack, and see if we can make some time up there on Sunday.
All right, Dale Earnhardt Jr. told me it's a very, very comfortable qualifying run, which bodes pretty well for him on Sunday.
And he's just been bumped down to the number 5 spot by Martin Truex Jr., who comes in 3rd right now. Junior's last top 5 qualifying was at Charlotte in May. His only one top 10 start in his last 15 races, so this would be a big boost for that team. They're all chasing Jamie McMurray right now, who is trying to make a little history to become the 2nd driver to win both poles in the same season here at Auto Club Speedway. Kurt Busch did it back in 06. Of course, Jamie sat on the pole here back in February, and he is currently got a comfortable margin right now as we're looking out on track with Matt Kenseth. And the statistic, I mean, we talked about it. 6 of the last 9 wins have come from the top 10 starting positions, except those 3 others by Matt Kenseth. He started 31st, he started 25th, and 24th.
Still been 63 races since he's won one. It's be a good place to get kind of fix that stat.
Back in February
for him, though.
Back in
look
February,
at this.
yeah, it is.
Great lap here.
He's got a good one going.
Yeah, these shadows are getting longer out there. Track's getting cooler.
Stops the clock. Wow. Number 2. He breaks up the Earnhardt-Ganassi duo. 39.11 seconds. So slot Matt Kenseth into the number 2 position. His best start ever here was back in 08. He's qualified 4th. He ended up 5th that day.
This could be a good sign for Matt Kenseth team. Qualify that well.
Jimmy Johnson out on track trying to get a little heat into the tires now. Of course, Jimmy has, as we mentioned, won 4 of the last 6, 5 total. And you see there that he's been a 2-time pole sitter here at California. In fact, he's the only guy to win from the pole.
See Jimmy trying to stay in there and just not have to go across those seams like that. Heard a number of guys talking about. Carry some speed. Let's see how fast he gets down into turn 1. This is going up pretty quickly. See if he got off of 4 good. 207. Oh, right at 208 there at the end. That's getting it done.
Dropping off a little bit through 2.
That lap that Jamie McMurray put down, he was just so good. He carried so much speed into the corner, right down on the bottom of the racetrack, shortest way around. It had to be just close to a perfect lap is what you could put down here today.
Jimmy is not going to get the pole on this run. Bringing it back a little bit, but he's about 0.3 of a second behind as he comes to the stripe. And it will slot him in the number 6 position, 39.19 seconds, right behind Greg Biffle, right in front of Dale Earnhardt Jr. Well, let's talk to our current pole sitter. Dr. Jerry Punch has got him.
Marty's doing some calculations here. Now, how many people did you promise to buy dinner for if you won the poll here?
I only promised Bono dinner, but I said if someone else wanted to come, I'd be more than glad to buy theirs also.
Are you going to supersize him, by the way, give him the big fries and everything?
There's a good possibility we'll end up at McDonald's. It's right by our hotel, so that would be really convenient. Really good run for us. The guys do such a good job putting these cars together at the shop. And we did a really good job executing our practice today, but we've got a new engine in this week, and the guys from ECR, this is a place that you have so much wide open throttle that it's really impressive what we have this weekend. So really glad to get to have that here at Fontana. I learned this morning that you don't get to pick the tracks you have it at, so Juan's had it a couple of races, and I'm glad that we got to have it here because the engine's big.
Will it hold up?
Well, I hope so. It seems like a lot of guys. I see Kenseth ran really well. The track is definitely getting faster, but that's all my car would go. I mean, I felt like sometimes when your qualifying laps are over, you think you could get a little more, but I really felt like I hustled it there, and that's all I had.
All right, Jamie McMurray. A minute ago, guys, you asked me, said, do the guys upstairs think my lap will hold up? Let me know what they say, okay?
Yeah, I think we said it was over before he got to the line.
Well, what we're saying is we're coming for dinner.
Yeah. He said he would buy anybody's dinner.
That's right.
Where are we going?
All right, let's focus in on Carl Edwards because this is one of these guys. Right now, he has been hot. And he's got a good run going, but not good enough to take over pole. He's had 10 top 10 finishes in 12 races here.
Well, he had a solid top 10 run going. To see that he had to get out of the throttle a little bit there off of 4, and that cost him a lot of time.
It did. It drops him all the way down to 17th out of 30 cars that have taken times. And
virtually identical to practice.
So,
yeah, whatever they were struggling with in practice, evidently they didn't get it fixed.
And remember, he gave up part of his nationwide practice to focus on this. And it did not pay the dividends that the team wanted, so he's going to have to fight his way up through the field, just like he was talking about doing last week.
It was like with his car, he took all the grip that his car had to make those first 3 corners, and he just didn't have what he needed to when he went back to the gas at the exit of turn 4.
On track now, the man who finished 3rd last week at Kansas and came home 15th at Dover, 5th at New Hampshire, 3rd place in the points, Kevin Harvick.
Yeah, he's definitely solidly right back in the middle of this points battle for sure.
Well, we saw the run Jeff Burton had. Burton right now slotted in 12th, and whoa, Harvick going in the wrong direction.
Kind of run that line that Montoya did, but not having nearly the success that Montoya had coming off that corner.
0.3 of a second so far behind McMurray's pace, and it's going south. Not the kind of run Kevin was looking for, but traditional Kevin he'll be back up front by the midway point of the race. 18th right now, 39.38 seconds.
The thing about that time, underdrove it, he said, but that time of 38 is only a little 2.5 tenths off of what is second place, but Jamie Murray far ahead of that with the pole.
All right, let's check in on Matt Kenseth. Doc?
Well, Marty, Matt's 3 wins here have come from 31st, 25th, and 24th starting spots. So, Matt, a front row start should be a layup for you here at California.
Either that or we're in big trouble. I don't know which one, but yeah, that was a great lap for Crown Royal Ford. Jimmy and Chip and them guys made some really good adjustments. We were off a little bit in practice, and they made it. They fixed all the problems I was having in practice pretty much. So that was good. All the Fords unloaded with a lot of speed this weekend. So hopefully we can work really hard tomorrow and get our car to handle the way we need to, and have a shot on Sunday.
It is good to see Matt Kenseth back in the top 10, coming off that 7th-place run last week at Kansas, guys.
It is certainly not over for any of the guys that are in the top 10 in the chase right now. In fact, even the top 11. On track right now, Casey Kane. That one win he had was back in 06, started 9th on that day. He's been on pole here once, his very first start here back in 04.
On pole last week with this same tire. So I would have thought that they would have had a shot at the pole here. I talked to Kenny Francis in the garage area this morning, asked him if he was going to run a similar setup to qualifying last week here today, and he said nope, they're going to try something different. Still going to be good.
Yeah, not a bad run at all.
Comes across 4th, 39.13 seconds. Puts him right behind Montoya, right ahead of Martin Truex Jr., and no one has gotten close to Jamie McMurray's time. So Casey, who's had 8 top 10 starts in 13 races here, looks like he's going to have another one come Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock Eastern time.
I'm not wanting to discount anybody else or anything, but they might be out here qualifying for second place as far as Jamie McMurray's concerned, because he just put down a lap that, I mean, that's just so much faster than everyone else. As he said, it was all that he could do, and he got the most out of it. Gave a lot of credit to the crew, but
and
see what Ellie can do. Yeah,
sound like he had a new engine combination there that he is lucky enough to be running here. So gave a lot of credit to the Earnhardt Childress engines, and rightfully so.
Elliott won this race back in 04. In the fall, started 17th that day. His best career start here was 5th way back in 03.
He was faster than Casey Kane in practice, and Casey is 4th, so that has to be encouraging.
Yeah, I saw Elliott taking a little different approach. We've seen guys scrubbing their tires in a little bit. Elliott was kind of slow coming up to speed, still carrying good speed down into turn 1, but really wanting to save any good of the tires that he could for this qualifying lap.
Well, it looks like it's paying some dividends right now.
He's ahead of where Casey Kane was at this point of the track. We'll see what he can do down here in 3 and 4.
He practiced 10th quick.
It's a good one.
Yeah, he got back to the gas really nice there, carrying speed off the corner. He could be on the front row right here.
Coming down for the stripe. And it is good enough for front row. 39.04
P2,
seconds.
man. Awesome job. 39.04. That's what I'm talking about, babe. Awesome job.
That's Todd Parrott. What a competitive guy he is. Now he's liking this.
And rightfully so. It is a good run for Elliott Sadler, who will not be back in that ride next year. So we talked about the fact that he won back in 04. Well, he led 59 laps in this race as he took the win as the sun set. And back then he was running the M&M's car.
Pennzoil Ultra, a revolutionary synthetic oil that takes clean where it's never been before. Nothing keeps your engine closer to factory clean.
What a great event to drive to.
Especially on new Fuel Max tires.
Introducing Goodyear Fuel Max tires. An innovative tread compound saves you 2,600 miles worth of gas over the life of the tires.
2,600 miles.
Now that would be a long race.
Goodyear, get there.
Attention computer shoppers with past credit problems. If you've had past credit problems and want to make a change, call now. All you need is an active checking account and you're approved for our program. Bankruptcy, liens, divorce, or job loss, it doesn't matter. You're approved. We'll get you that new computer you always wanted and report on your credit so you can start to get it back on track. Call now and with your paid order, we'll add a free color printer, free MP3 music player, and a free LCD TV. You heard right. Free printer, free MP3 player, and a free LCD TV. Call now and tell us where you want your brand new computer and free gift shipped today.
It's not easy running a university all by yourself. The box seats to games, the recruiting trips to exotic locations, not working. The ribbon cutting ceremonies, the fight songs in your honor, the stadiums named after you. There, better. Yeah, it's a tough job, but hey, I'm a tough guy.
Build it, run it, beat your friends. Play ESPNU College Town at BeTheDean.com.
We all have times when we feel weak and run down.
Okay, I need a break. Can I just sit down for a second?
So what if I told you that regaining your strength and feeling renewed was as easy as wearing this?
That's crazy.
This is great.
All of these people are excited about iRenew, the revolutionary bracelet that uses natural frequencies to promote strength and wellness. Just watch these strength and balance tests. Without iRenew, these people couldn't even stay on their feet. After slipping iRenew on, they were amazed at how their balance was instantly restored. And these aren't actors, just regular people experiencing iRenew's effects for the first time. Highly recommended. Athletes and celebrities have paid hundreds, even thousands of dollars, but now you can get your iRenew for just $19.99. And we'll send you a second one free. Just pay separate processing. If it doesn't work exactly like you've seen in this commercial, send it back for a full refund. No questions asked. You get 2 iRenew bracelets, a $40 value for just $19.99. Call now.
Back here at Auto Club Speedway, glad you're with us for qualifying. A lot of surprises right now. Guys that we thought would be up front are not, including some chase contenders and a few guys that have literally surprised us with some great runs. And now we are with the 34th car on track right now, Andy Lally. You see his best start was back at the Glen, 15th. Andy is basically a road racing specialist, 3-time Grand Am champion. Won the 09 Rolex 24 in the Daytona GT class, and this one's going way south.
Yeah, but he's guaranteed a spot. He's going to start regardless, so he doesn't have to make it on speed.
And as he comes across the stripe, he does not break 40 seconds. He's the slowest of the 34 cars that have taken times at 40.64 seconds. So while he coasts on out, we'll talk about football because tomorrow night ESPN delivers SEC Showdown, 12th ranked LSU, a tough road test as they're going to play up against the 14th ranked Gators. They're looking to rebound after that tough loss in Tuscaloosa. It's college football primetime. It's presented by Hampton Hotels. It's on ESPN tomorrow at 7:30 Eastern. Also available online and on your phone. You mentioned during practice you thought Urban Meyer was going to have those boys fired up.
I think we've seen a lot of mistakes out of that team in the first few games. That kind of uncharacteristic of his football team. I bet they had a pretty tough practice. He'll have them ready to go against LSU.
Saw that number 1 on the pylon. Jamie McMurray, our current pole sitter, already has 5 front row starts this year. Looks like it's going to have number 6. This is Dave Blaney. Blaney, the last of the cars to have a guaranteed spot, the top 35 in points that are on the track. Blaney practiced 40th quick, a 40.38 seconds. So, as you can see, lap tracker basically going in the same direction. Back in February, he qualified 5th, but he was driving the 66 car in that race as he comes across the stripe. And he'll slide into the 32nd spot at a 40.099. So that means we get now to the go or go homers, and 2 are going to be packing it up. And
you talk about a long trip
by
now,
the end of qualifying.
all the way back to the East Coast from here.
Let's go talk to that guy who's on the outside of the front row. Don?
I don't know who was smiling more, Todd Parrott or Elliott Sadler, when you climbed out of the car. You were thank you, back and forth, and what a great run for both of you guys.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. The reason we qualified second day is 100% Todd Parrott. He's put so much effort and so much hard work in our program the last couple months, and this is one of our newer cars, one of this year's cars, and they've done a lot of work back in the body shop, preparing the body on and getting the car as light as we can, doing a lot of cool stuff, and man, that felt good, and it feels good to qualify like that. We got a lot of people here from Reynolds Wrap, and I can't thank them enough. Of course, Doug 8 Engines, and it's a good day for us so far. We knew we were good in practice. I just had to make a really good lap, and was able to do that today. So, but Todd's, it's been amazing working with him again. He's given me like a new life. We've been pretty good here last couple of weeks. We just got to put it all together for 400 miles on Sunday, and hopefully we'll be able to do that.
Good to have you back on the front row.
Hey, thanks a lot.
Elliott Sadler, guys.
His last front row start, Phoenix, back in April of 2008. He was second in that day.
Yeah. When he won in 04 here, Todd Parrott was his crew chief. So a lot of good things happened with those two guys.
Guy on the hot seat, David Gillen. He has got to put this car in the field. The 38, this is the team that they're trying to get this car back into the top 35 by season's end to be guaranteed the first 5 races of next year. And he comes across the stripe at 39.680. And as we said, 2 are going to go home. And the 2 that were slowest in practice were Michael McDowell and Patrick Carpentier. We'll see if that holds up.
He obviously is not locked in yet, but that will get him into the show. That's great effort by David Gillen right there.
And there's a lot of room between his 39.6 and a 40.6 of Andy Lally, a full second.
That's why they put David Gillen in this race car. As you said, they're trying to get in the top 35. And you get on these type of racetracks, there's nobody that does any better job than what David does, going out there and getting the most speed out of the car.
They are 63 points right now outside of that 35th spot in the owner points. And as we mentioned, Robbie Gordon's number 7 holds that position right now. Bobby Labonte now coming to the line. You can see he's had 20 career starts. Sat on pole back in 2001. He's finished second twice here. Back in 2000 and again in 03. Has never won here.
Qualified in the top 20 last week at Kansas.
Saw him get a little loose coming through one, and it's hurt the whole lap from there on out. Of course, with him being the past champion of 2000, he could use that provisional.
Looks like he might have to here. It's not a good lap.
Heading for the stripe, and the clock is still running. 39.99 seconds. Puts him 33rd out of the 37 cars that have taken times. It is slower than Gilliland's, and you're right, he may have to use that provisional. We'll just wait and see. Next up will be Casey Mears. Grew up in Bakersfield, California, all part of the Mears gang. Used to race in the desert out here. I remember when he was racing Stadium Superlights in the Mickey Thompson Series at the age of 15. He won his first race before he ever had his driver's license.
Casey was the fastest of this group during the practice earlier today.
39.76, and he's using the Montoya let's avoid the seams line.
Yeah, he's doing that, and you can also see a little bit of shade, so that means that part of the racetrack there's a little bit cooler. Should be a little bit more grip, and any grip you can find out there right now is a good thing.
Brings it right down on the line.
Using up all the racetrack there off of 2, but a good solid lap.
Right at you as he makes the turn. There you get an idea.
Yeah, you got a good lap going here.
This is very good.
Should get him locked into the show rather easily.
As he comes down to the stripe, clock will stop at 39.27 seconds. Puts him 12th quickest overall. I think that'd be a safe bet to make the show.
I think so. I think that'll do it.
Well, it's a good run by Casey Mears, as right now he is solidly in. Gilliland's looking good. Bobby Labonte has the past champions provisional, and we still have a bunch of guys coming. And yeah, when you're sitting on the front row, everybody wants your autograph. Elliott Sadler signing a few for the fans as he heads back. And does Jimmy McMurray hold on to the pole?
Take matters in your own hands. Keep that car running better, longer. Do everything you can to make sure a small job doesn't turn into a costly one. And AutoZone is the one place with the expertise and tools you need to do the job right the first time. Because do it yourself doesn't mean you have to do it alone. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Chase Freedom helps you maximize your cash back. Apply and sign up to earn a total of 5% cash back on popular categories that change, like gas, groceries, dining, home improvement, and more. And unlike most cashback cards, get a full 1% on all other spending. Plus $100 cash back by making $800 in purchases in the first 3 months with your Chase Freedom credit card. Call or go to ChaseFreedomCash.com. It's the only card you'll ever need. Chase Freedom. Yeah.
Someone just ordered on PapaJohns.com, and Papa John is already on his way.
Papa's in the house. I got pizza.
Get an order of cheese sticks free when you buy any large specialty pizza at regular menu price. Only at PapaJohns.com. That's right, free cheese sticks. Only when you order online at PapaJohns.com.
You click your mouse, Papa comes to your house.
Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
I wish it were as simple as me versus 11 other guys, but it's not.
It's me versus the car in front of me and their bumper. Me versus that line of sweat running down my face.
Me versus the expectations of an entire sport.
Versus the loose lug nut
on lap 112.
Versus 4 turns
and 2 straightaways.
Versus history.
Most of all, it's me versus my will to win.
My dedication. My dedication.
My dedication. Versus myself.
The chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup. Who will be the last man standing?
Saturday on ESPN College Game Day.
You guys ready?
Yes, sir.
Chris, Lee, Kirk, Daz, and Aaron pull into Columbia, South Carolina as Steve Spurrier's Gamecocks brace themselves for the top-ranked Tide. Plus,
kids just surrounded me from the end zone. I think we got a 5th down situation here.
We'll revisit the infamous 5th down game on its 20th anniversary. ESPN College Game Day, built by the Home Depot. Saturday at 9 a.m. on ESPNU, continuing at 10 on ESPN.
Welcome back to Sprint Cup qualifying here at California. Carl Edwards right now 20th on the board, Carl, and you even tried to effort it by sitting out nationwide practice. What happened?
We struggled a little bit in practice with turns 3 and 4, and Bob and the guys did everything that they thought was going to make it turn better, and we just still had a little bit of trouble. I was just in there telling Bob and Kevin, to keep their heads up. We raced really well here. It is a 400-mile race, but not the qualifying effort we wanted, not what we were working towards. But we don't give up, and we feel like we can come back. There's guys in the chase that are far worse than us, so we'll just go out there, we'll dig deep, and we'll put this Aflac Fusion up front on Sunday.
All right, Carl Edwards has one win here in the Sprint Cup Series. Marty?
4 of the Chase contenders actually have qualified behind Carl Edwards, as we're watching Jason Leffler right now, as he's made 2 appearances here in Cup races at Auto Club Speedway in 01 and in 05. Qualified 25th and 39th, respectively. This one's looking much better. Leffler was 2nd quickest of the go-or-go-homers in practice. And he comes in right behind Gilliland now, as he fell off there, guys, you can see, coming out of turn number 4.
Man.
And it looks like
taking a wide arc in.
I believe I'd give it up. I believe I'd just give it up.
Just call him on in, be finished.
Yeah.
Probably going to make the race with that time.
Discretion, the better part of valor there. He finally does lift.
Just not enough grip in these tires to make 2 laps.
So Jason will bring it on back. He did finish 2nd here in a Camping World Truck Series start back in 2002. That's the best finish he's had in any of the 3 NASCAR Touring Series here at Auto Club Speedway. And he'll have to wait a little bit to find out if that time holds up, but I think you're right, Andy. We were grinning at each other when I said going to break about could Jimmy McMurray hold on to the pole, and we were looking at all the guys left, and of course there isn't a lot of speed there. I think it's a safe bet.
I think so. I believe Jamie's pretty well locked up the pole. There's still a lot to race for these guys right here, because they want to make this race. 2 of them are not going to. It's going to be a long trip back home for the ones that don't.
Well, Jamie still had 0.2 of a second on Elliott Sadler in 2nd, let alone what everybody here's doing.
Yeah, I think he's getting the pole winning hat sized up. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. The name is already on the check. Patrick Carpentier, we mentioned the fact he was one of the 2 slowest out of the go-or-go-home group in practice. And we'll find out how he does. Now, we're comparing him to David Gilliland's time.
Whoa, he's got his hands full right there. You can't get back to the gas, although he stayed in it pretty decent. You can see it hurt his speed on the exit of turn 2.
I think I'm going to have to do 2 laps. Got to really lose there.
I don't know if you've got 2 laps worth of tires, Dave.
Patrick, I'll let you back in on a little secret. It's not going to have more grip when you get down there this next time either.
Here comes out of 4.
Yeah, especially after you've adjusted on the car a little bit off turn 4.
Yeah.
There, a little bump on that right side.
Yeah. And he is the slowest of the go-or-go-home group. Is he going to go another lap?
I don't know if this is going to get any better at any point in time here. See what he can do. He's sure giving it a go.
He's got the hammer down.
Yeah, maybe that little adjustment on the wall helped it.
He's actually tracking a little bit better than the last lap. He will be the first out of 41 cars to take 2 full laps. And he is actually tracking better.
Yeah, he is. He's going to pick it up.
And he almost got the wall again. He's losing it there right at the end as he comes across. He picked up 9 1/1000ths of a second.
Hey, bud, we're going to have to pray. I'm sorry.
So let's go back and show you exactly what happened here. As Here's the contact.
Now, you got to give him an A for effort. I mean, he's putting everything out there, and he just ran out of room there, all 4.
So of the 5 that have taken times in the go or go home group, Patrick is the slowest. Now, we can tell you that Casey Mears and Jason Leffler have locked in. And, of course, the 09 of Bobby Labonte, if he needs it, will get the champion's provisional. Coming out on track right now is J.J. Yaley. Yaley's had 7 prior starts here. His best start was 4th back in 2006. He finished 8th that day. That also is his best Auto Club Speedway finish. So right now we're comparing the times to Jason Leffler. Leffler would be the next to lock in if Yaley goes slower.
He's got it heading in the right direction off of turn 2.
Yeah.
There's just nothing harder as a driver knowing you basically have 1 lap to go out there and get it done. You're going to race the weekend. The car's not driving exactly like you want it to, but you still just have to put forth the best effort. Looks like this is going to be good enough.
He's about 9/100ths right now. Better, and yes, he's in. Lock him in. J.J. Yaley. The time of 39.58 seconds. Makes him the 2nd quickest of the go or go home group. It still leaves Leffler and Carpentier wondering about their futures. So while he brings it on back to the garage area, we'll step aside for a brief moment. Still to come, it'll be Michael McDowell and Mike Bliss.
We've got your car in stock. Let's just check out your credit score and we'll work out your financing.
Sounds good. Did you know everyone has 3 credit scores? And just 1 bad score could really hurt you.
Whoa! That's going to be a problem.
What do you mean? Your credit score could be affected by inaccuracies or even identity theft. Now tracking your score is easy at freescore.com. Unlike other services that only provide 1 score, freescore.com lets you see all 3 credit scores for free. Get your scores now at freescore.com.
Free score! Freescore.com! Hey fans, to find the largest selection of my gear, log on to NASCAR.com Superstore.
The all-new Sobakawa Cloud Pillow, a pillow 300 years in the making, based on the traditional Asian buckwheat pillow. The Sobakawa Cloud is filled with over 10 million air beads, a virtual sea of clouds. It does 3 things no other pillow does. Gives adjustable support, cools your head, and never breaks down. We placed eggs on the bottom of these cylinders, filled this cylinder with feathers from an expensive pillow. This 10-pound weight crushes the feathers and smashes the eggs. In this tube, we have stuffing from a fiber pillow, and it offers little resistance. Then we tried memory foam, and the weight wins again. Now watch as the weight hits the air beads. They absorb the shock, and the eggs are safe. Order your Sobakawa Cloud Pillow for just $19.99. Call right now and we'll double your order. You'll receive a second Sobakawa pillow and pillowcase for just the shipping and handling. But you have to call now.
To order your Sobakawa Cloud Pillow, call 1-800-921-0685. 1-800-921-0685. Call now.
Michael McDowell here at Auto Club Speedway. He, in the practice session, was one of the 2 slowest cars. Patrick Carpentier was the other. Carpentier, unfortunately for him, is the slowest of those that have run in the go or go home group. And now McDowell has got to run quicker than Leffler's time of 39.68 seconds.
We've seen Michael McDowell a number of times take a car that wasn't all that good in practice and get the job done when it came time to qualify.
Going green right now.
Got a little bit of a cushion as he goes down the back straightaway, gaining a little bit more. Looking good so far into turn 3. See if he's got enough grip left in these tires.
He's got 1/10 of a second in the bank, coming through 3 and 4. Losing a little bit of it now, but it looks like he's going to be safe as he comes across the stripe, and Michael McDowell will lock himself in. It's time of 39.56 seconds. So that still leaves Leffler and Carpentier on the hot seat. And 42 cars have taken times.
Well, that's a big pickup by Michael McDowell there. About almost 3/4 of a second from what he ran in practice.
Yeah, he ran a 40.26 and then runs a 39.56. That's pretty awesome.
Only had one driver run 2 laps. It was Patrick Carpentier, and he actually picked it up just a little bit, even after hitting the wall on the first lap.
Steam coming out as they had that baby taped up. Mike Bliss on the track right now, looking to make his 6th Auto Club Speedway start in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. His best start was 10th back in 05. That was also the year of his best finish. He came home 12th that day. He's had poles here, one in Nationwide and one in the Camping World Truck Series. Again, we're comparing his time to Jason Leffler's. Leffler is the man on the hot seat right now. He, along with Patrick Carpentier. Ooh, got a little tail happy coming out of 2. The tracker heads just a little south, DJ.
Yeah, that time that's going to cost him having to chase the car up the racetrack as he got a little free, as you saw there. Got to really put down a solid turn 3 and 4. Coming back the right way.
He's
starting to lose it again.
He's about a 10th off. And it is going to be close as he comes across the stripe. Bliss is ahead of Carpentier. It will lock Jason Leffler in.
He's one of those drivers that's going to have to go run a second lap.
Keep running.
See if he can get any more out of this on this second one.
We'll wait to officially do this, but if he can pick up, but it doesn't look like he's going to pick up enough.
He carries a lot of speed down into the corner. I don't know if he can continue it on the exit. See, he paid the price there.
Yeah, he's about almost 2/10 now, a little over 2/10 off. So here he comes across the stripe on lap number 2, and as we mentioned, he lost about a 10th of a second, or 9/100ths to be exact. And it leaves him right where we said before on lap number 1. So Leffler has locked in. It's now Bliss and Carpentier that are hoping that others go slower than them. And we are running out of cars because we're down to literally Joe Nemechek and Landon Castle.
Yeah, it looked pretty dismal for Carpentier because Joe Nemechek and Landon Castle were faster in practice.
Front row Joe started on pole in his very first race back here at Auto Club Speedway back in 1997. He went on to finish 18th that day. He's also had a starting position of 2nd, 4th, and 8th in a total of 20 races here. His best finish was 10th back in October of 05. All right, the time he has to beat is Mike Bliss's at 39.856 seconds.
See Joe really working the steering wheel. It's pretty high coming out of turn 2.
He's in the green, though. Staying in the green, heading for 3. Oh, this is going to be close.
Well, he got a nice run back into the throttle. I believe he's going to make it now. It's going to put Joe Nemechek in the field.
He is gaining as he comes to the stripe, and Joe is in.
And Carpentier is out.
Yep.
And Joe squeaked in there.
So it comes down to this. There will be one car remaining. It will be Landon Castle. It's either Landon in or Mike Bliss stays in. And the time that Landon's going to have to beat is Bliss's 39.856 second elapsed time. Pretty lonely feeling right now. What do you think? Being the last guy out. You know what you have to do.
Promise you that's not a good feeling, but what you have to do in this case is go out there and get the most out of it. He's got to pick up quite a bit, which we've seen that from a lot of these.
Well, Landon's been in
drivers.
10 Cup races in 2010. His best start was 15th back at the fall race in Michigan. This will be his first start at Auto Club Speedway if he can go quicker than Mike Bliss.
Track down in 3 and 4 is almost totally shaded, so it should have a lot more grip.
Again, we're tracking in comparison to Mike Bliss's time. And he's in the negative, which is a good sign, and he's increasing it.
Yeah, got a nice run off the corner. He didn't press the issue over driving turn 1 and really taking any chance that he might have had away, so he did a nice, solid job there.
He's got 1,400s in the bank as he hits turn 3. It's starting to drop off a little bit.
Yeah, but he got back to the throttle. Doesn't look like he has any issues getting off. Should be solidly good enough right here to get him in. He'll race.
It looks like Landon Castle will be around for Sunday's race, and unfortunately for Mike Bliss and Patrick Carpentier, they will not. Bobby Labonte will get in using his past champions provisional. And so we have Jamie McMurray on the pole as he is going to be his 6th front row start. Yeah, there's a good reason for that smile.
Honey, turn up the volume. Your baby sister has something to say.
This intervention brought to you by Niaspan.
So now your doctor's talking about plaque building up in your arteries. She called it coronary artery disease. You think that's something you can just stick in an email and that's the end of it? Do you know me? Look, Bonnie, I know you've been exercising and eating a healthier diet, and that's great, but you wrote that your doctor also wants you on this cholesterol medicine, Niaspan. I know, another pill, I get it, I do. But I am not taking no for an answer.
If you have high cholesterol and coronary artery disease, and diet and exercise are not enough, Niaspan, along with diet and a bile acid binding resin, is FDA approved not only to slow down plaque buildup, but to actually help clear some of it away.
Bonnie, ever since we were kids, you would do anything for me. I need you to do this for you.
If you cannot afford your medication, call 1-877-NIASPAN. Niaspan is not for everyone, like people with stomach ulcers, liver, or serious bleeding problems. Severe liver damage can occur when switching to Niaspan from immediate-release niacin. Blood tests are needed to check for liver problems. Tell your doctor if you have muscle pain or weakness. This could be a sign of serious side effects. This risk can increase with statin use. Tell your doctor about alcohol use if you've ever had gout or are diabetic and experience increases in blood sugar. Flushing, a common side effect, is warmth, redness, itching, or tingling of the skin. Ask your doctor about Niaspan. Fight back. Fight plaque. Niaspan.
Saturday on ESPN College Game Day.
You guys ready?
Yes, sir. Chris, Lee, Kirk, Daz, and Aaron pull into Columbia, South Carolina as Steve Spurrier's Gamecocks brace themselves for the top-ranked Tide. Plus,
Kids just surrounded me from the end zone. I think we got a 5th down situation here.
we'll revisit the infamous 5th down game on its 20th anniversary. ESPN College Game Day, built by the Home Depot. Saturday at 9 a.m. on ESPNU, continuing at 10 on ESPN.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.
Well, here at Auto Club Speedway, Jamie McMurray has become the 2nd driver to win both poles in the same season here at Auto Club Speedway. Kurt Busch did it back in 2006. Jamie did it here in February and again today. And let's talk to him, Dr. Jerry Punch.
A series-leading 4th pole of the year. And, Jamie, how does this speed in qualifying at this racetrack translate to what's going to happen on Sunday?
Well, this is a really wide racetrack, but it's still hard to pass it in any of the places. So getting to qualify well, you get that first pit stall, and that makes a huge difference. Getting on and off pit road, it's so much easier to maintain your pit road speed when you're pitted at the far end. So, yeah, it should be good. I really thought our car was good in race trim. And we're trying stuff, and we tried stuff today that was really off the wall that we haven't run all year long, just trying to make our cars faster, and we're learning a lot of stuff. So, we really had to work on being more consistent, and since Indy or since Chicago, I feel like we've been one of the more consistent teams. So our bad days have been like 11th to 15th, where earlier in the year we were running 30th. So we've got really fast cars, and our consistency's there now.
People focus on winning a championship, and now you're not in the chase for these final events of the year. So what is the agenda for this Earnhardt Ganassi team, these final 7 races? What are you trying to find out?
Well, we're trying to win every week, and we're in a position where you can take some more chances. But, stuff like today, we really worked on developing new parts for our car for next year. I mean, right now is the time to try that when we come to some of these racetracks and you have an extra 30 minutes of practice on Friday. So we really didn't focus on qualifying today. We focused on trying to develop stuff for next year. So it's it all worked out for us. So
Sunday, 400 miles for the first time ever at Auto Club Speedway. What kind of a difference will that make in terms of strategy?
I'm glad it's 400 miles. I really think the 400-mile races are more exciting, not only for the drivers but for the fans, everybody, because there's certain races like the Coca-Cola 600 where that being long is a challenge and it's different. But I'm glad they made that to 400 miles here. I think it'll obviously the race is shorter, so everything's gonna happen a little bit quicker. But qualifying is important, and we've got a good starting position, so it should be a good show.
Hey, congratulations and good luck on Sunday.
Cool, thank you. Mm-hmm.
All right, pole sitter Jamie McMurray. Let's check in with Jamie Little.
I'm joined now by Steve Letarte, crew chief for Jeff Gordon. They qualified 17th today. I know this is one of those racetracks that you guys really need to strike it hot. This is one of his best. What does this mean for qualifying mid-pack?
Well, I mean, you always want to qualify better, but I don't think it'll affect our performance on Sunday. I mean, we qualified 28th in the spring, and we were up to the top 5 until we had a little spark plug problem. So I think we'll be fine. We were fine last week. We need to run well, but I don't think qualifying is going to really be indicative of how everyone's going to the race.
Well, you guys, last weekend I talked to you about how important this is in the overall grand scheme of the chase. How much are you guys banking on your performance here as we move forward?
Well, we entered the chase 60 points behind. So, we have to run top 5 at all the tracks we're strong at, and this is definitely one of them. So, Kansas, we want to be better than 5th, but we'll take a 5th. We led some laps. We contended for a while. We just weren't good enough at the end. And I think here there's been a strong track for us, and we just need to be good enough to win. I mean, it'd look great to be in victory lane, but we need to be good enough to win. We need to run in the top 5 and just keep ourselves in contention. It seems like every week a couple more cars kind of fall by the wayside and fall a little bit far behind. We just need to make sure we're kind of over the hump.
Well, with that statement being made, I'll ask you, do you have to win the championship this year?
You just have to have the most points when you get to Homestead. It doesn't matter how you do it. I think you don't have to win, but you need to be good enough to win. To think you're going to run 5th to 8th in all these races and get lucky at the end of them and run 3rd or 4th, it is just not going to happen. You have to be good enough to win. I don't think you maybe have to end up in victory lane, but you have to contend for it more than just 1 week to think you're going to have enough points come Homestead.
Well, sure would be nice for the 24 team to end up in victory lane. Let Steve Letarte go call his kids who are on the East Coast. Marty?
Well, and Jeff Gordon won here from a 16th starting position, and he finished second from 17th, and he is starting 17th on Sunday. So he has done it before here at Auto Club Speedway. All right, let's take a look at the entire starting field. There are a number of surprises. As you can see, Jamie McMurray, we've already talked to him on pole. There's Elliott Sadler. Also, Matt Kenseth with what he really needed. What about other surprises in the top 10?
How about Dale Earnhardt Jr. starting in the top 10? That's a good sign for this team and a good track for him. He's talking about the track getting wider and moving up to the top groove. It should be good if it does that for him.
Yeah. Martin Truex Jr. and Joey Logano with a solid effort.
Yeah, but keep your eye on Biffle and Jimmy Johnson, then row number 4. How about in this second group here?
Actually, I'm thinking Jeff Burton qualifying that well is good for his team. They usually are back even farther than that, so should be a good sign for that team.
Yeah, Kyle Busch isn't going to hang around back in 16th very long. I'd look for him to be towards the top 5 early on.
And then we go back even deeper, and you've got Kevin Harvick, Tony Stewart in row number 11. And A.J. Allmendinger is going to have to do some work if he's going to get another one of those top 10s.
Yeah, disappointing run for A.J. because he was second quick in practice before qualifying, so I know he's disappointed with that starting position.
Brad Keselowski is the top qualified Dodge in 25th position. And this is the big surprise, guys. Look at row 17 and row 19.
Yeah, you're talking about, Dale, the mental part of starting in the back. How about Denny Hamlin's team starting back in 34th position? That has got to be a mental blow for this team.
Yeah, it really is. And you just have to overcome it. You're going to have to work hard in practice tomorrow to get your car right for this race.
Denny's worst Auto Club Speedway start in 10 races. There are the 3 that round out the field: Kevin Conway, Andy Lowley, and Bobby Labonte. All right, let's talk to the 4-time champion, Jimmy Johnson. He's going to start 8th, Doc.
Yeah, Jimmy, how about it here? They have a different name for the race. It should be the Jimmy Johnson Invitational. I mean, you come home here every year, and you're just so doggone good here. But starting 8th on Sunday, what about your thoughts?
We've had some good years, and it's a whole new year, whole new race, and I've got to go back out there and do my job and hopefully keep the streak going for my sake. But yeah, the track's always worked well for me. I won my first race here, and it's been real good to me here in the chase, last year and kind of in general in the fall. So 8th is good. We'll take that. Good starting spot, and excited excited about the look of the race car with the Jimmy Johnson Foundation paint scheme on it. Can't thank Lowe's enough for being such an amazing sponsor and supporting the things that Shani and I believe in with our foundation. And we had a very successful tournament this week, raised a lot of money, and looking forward to getting a trophy at the end of the weekend.
Yeah, I hear of over $525,000 in the foundation. Let me ask you, if I'm a race fan and I'm sitting home, I'm wondering, okay, before the chase starts, Jimmy Johnson struggling a little bit here, having some trouble finishing in the top 25. When the chase begins, here comes Superman back. I mean, how do you guys flip the switch and suddenly get that good?
You know, each year everybody's shocked that we have a slow summer, and truthfully, that's kind of the way things work for us. So we're really just following our normal trend. We don't want to be slow in the summer. We hate that, you know, it's been tough on us, especially this year and a few other years, but it's racing. You just show up each week and you do what you can, and people have a different point of view watching from afar and at home, but inside the garage area, you know, we're just fighting to stay alive and doing everything we can each week, and we get to the end of the year and things work a little better for us. We're not arguing that point, but it's not like we're doing anything different.
Hey, good luck on Sunday.
Right on. Thank you.
Jimmy Johnson will start 8th, and the drive for 5 is alive. Jamie?
And Matt Kenseth qualified 3rd, the best chaser today. Matt, what was the difference for you guys?
We showed up with a lot of speed. All the Fords did this weekend, kind of like last weekend. So we just happened to get a good lap. Chip and Jimmy and all them guys made really good adjustments in practice to fix what was wrong in practice to get it to qualify good. So it was just a good lap for us.
It's a great track, obviously, for your team. Roush is always good here. But you've had your most wins at this very racetrack. Your last win even came here. What is it about this track that you run so well?
Yeah, that was a long time ago already. We sure could use another win one of these days real bad. So it's just been a track ever since we came here. We've performed pretty well. I've really enjoyed it here in Michigan and some other tracks like this. So we just been fortunate here more times than not.
All right, Matt Kenseth will roll off 3rd on Sunday. Marty?
And after the disaster at Dover, he came back to qualify 8th and finished 7th last week at Kansas, and looking good come Sunday. Let's talk a little football, because Saturday night, ABC has some great action, as we've got 23rd ranked Florida Seminoles and Ja'Cory Harrison, 13th ranked Miami Hurricanes. And some on the West Coast will see USC taking on the Stanford Cardinal. Saturday night football presented by Southwest Airlines on ABC at 8 Eastern and 5 Pacific. And I better clear that up. It's Florida State. I don't want to get the Florida.
Oh, yeah,
Gators
you get in big
wrong
trouble there.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the 12 chase contenders. Look at where these guys are going to be starting from. And, I mean, there's Denny Hamlin, 34th. Kurt Busch, 39th. And we're talking about some major work. No one's ever won from that far back.
Yeah, but these races start, Marty. You know, I always watch that, and we've got these chasers in yellow on our monitor. And it seems like every race, these yellow guys just start moving their way up to the top. They find their way to the front, and that's why they're in this chase. They race well. Qualifying doesn't really pay points for qualifying.
Yeah, but we're 100 miles shorter. That's a lot of difference in time out on the track.
Yeah, it's still 400 miles, still a long race, 200 laps around here. They have plenty of time to do it. But the key is getting your car good enough to where you're going to be able to make up those positions. This isn't a two-tire racetrack. There's not enough grip out here to be had as it is. Matter of fact, you'd want 8 if you could possibly put that on there. But they're going to be 4-tire. They're just going to have to try to make up some spots in the pits, get the pit crews to do a great job. But the biggest key is getting a handling package that will allow your car not to slow down on these longer runs that we see here.
4 Chevys, 4 Fords, 2 Toyotas in the top 10. What do we make of that?
Well, I don't see really a manufacturer that has what I would call a decided advantage. The Fords definitely showed up faster. We heard Matt Kenseth say that they had something there, engine-wise, something that makes their car faster this week, and it's showing up. And Greg Biffle winning last week has to give them a lot of enthusiasm and confidence that they can win here.
Yeah, and we heard Jamie McMurray talk about that he had an engine combination that was something he hasn't had either, working very well. But I know that Doug Yates and his people have been working on some things. They just continue to bring better stuff week in and week out, and see what they can make of it and how long it's going to last, and is it as good as they think it is on the chassis dyno.
Well, let's check in over at the Craftsman Tech Garage, because Tim Brewer, now we've got to change these cars over from qualifying trim to race trim.
It's a different animal right now. A while ago, it was all about driving the car down the corner, getting all the downforce on the nose, getting that fast lap. But now, come back to reality. You got to untape the grill, little air in the engine, because we've got to have that engine last for 400 miles. But the shock absorbers, like Dale Jarrett said earlier, we have to hook these tires up because there's very little grip on the racetrack. We're going to be working with weight distribution. We put a lot of nose weight in the car to run fast for qualifying. Now the frame rails right here, we're going to slide this lead and this tungsten way back. But we've got to work with the shock absorbers and the air pressure in the tires to make sure that the driver can run 400 miles and give an opportunity to win the race here in California.
Okay, guys, so I'm going to put you on the spot. Who wins this race on Sunday based on what you've seen?
Based on what I've seen today or overall? Jimmy Johnson, from what I've seen in the past, but it's going to be a competitive race, no doubt.
Yeah, it'd be hard to argue that, but look for Greg Biffle to have a shot at winning 2 in a row.
All right, well, we'll find out Sunday, and let's talk about what we have coming up for you because it will be NASCAR Nationwide Series at California tomorrow at 4 Eastern, ESPN2. And then our Sprint Cup Series, Pepsi Max 400, Sunday at 3 with Countdown coming on at 2 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. And for drag racing fans, Toyo Tires, NHRA Nationals qualifying is tomorrow 10:30 Eastern on ESPN2 and the finals Sunday at 9 o'clock Eastern over on ESPN. Well, that's going to wrap it up for us here on the West Coast. Coming up next, it will be NASCAR now presented by Wrangler.